Are you guys
Been there, done those.
ready?
Whenever you are, Queen.
Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Next on the agenda is the roll call. Jamie, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Jeannie Flowers.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Here.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Here.
Trustee Denise Bryan.
Here.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Here.
Trustee Richard Tucker.
Here.
Trustee Nick Manning.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we will continue on. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda that's been presented by staff.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Richard Tucker and a second by trustee Denise Bryant to approve the agenda as presented by staff. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sound. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the October 26, 2022 meeting, and I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion we approve the meeting minutes of October 26, 2022.
Second.
Here we have a meeting by trustee Nick Manning and a second by trustee Betsy Harrison to approve the minutes of October 26, 2022 as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is audience business. Audience business is not on the agenda, and those speaking have 5 minutes to do their presentation, and you'll speak to the board, present your name at the podium and your address. And the first one that signed up is Kersha Small.
Thank you. My name is Kersha Small, and I live at 203 West Menifee Street. I just want to thank you guys for hearing me out again. I know I was here last month, and you guys asked me to get with the town administrator to talk about my water bill, and I truly tried. So now I'm here seeking your guys' advice and help with this matter. But before I ask you for that, I'd like to give you a little back history. So on September 22nd, the meter was read and was flagged by Georgette. 3 weeks go by, and I finally get my bill in the mail. I get it. And when I got my bill in the mail, it was $1,500, so I called the town of Mancos at 11:20. The call lasted for 5 minutes and 23 seconds, and in this phone call, Georgette mentioned that she had flagged our bill and was waiting for a phone call from me. Then she proceeded to have me call the San Luis Recreational Center to stop my payment on the water bill since it was automatically taken out. So I did that. I called them, left them a message to stop payment. So I tried to call back, and Georgette and I were playing phone tag. So eventually I got a hold of Georgette so she could speak with my husband because I was out of town. So they were trying to figure out the water leak. On October 15th, when we tried to call the emergency number for the town of Mancos, it directed us to this number, push this number, and then it just directly hung up on us. October 17th, my husband and I arrived at the town of Mancos to discuss our water bill. We talked with Georgette, and I also requested that he be added to my bill. Georgette said that she looked at the meter reading from one of the guys, and she thought it was odd that it appears to have gone backward, that the meter reading was now less than when it was read on the 22nd, which was odd. She also informed me to come to a meeting, as we did. On October 18th, I called the town of Mancos at 11:35 and left a message with Heather to call me back in regards to our water bill. I mentioned that I would call her back after 1:30. So then I called again on October 18th at 2:12 and went straight to Heather's voicemail. On October 19th, I called at 1:20 p.m. and Heather's phone went straight to voicemail. Called at 2:08 and Heather's phone went straight to voicemail. Called at 2:09, talked with Georgette, and she informed me that she spoke with Heather and that we are good with making payments for the September bill. She also informed me that they wouldn't put a late fee on it, which I am so grateful for. I'm so grateful that they worked with us. That was my September bill. October 25th, when I went in to make a payment on my September bill, Georgette informed me of my new water bill for the month of October, which was $4,667.11. That $4,667.11 was for the amount of 586,000 gallons of water. So from the time my bill was flagged on September 22nd to October 14th, 3 weeks had passed. I did not receive a phone call from the town. I did not receive a visit from anybody who works for the town of Mancos. Granted, I live just 2 blocks down the road, to say, hey, your meter was running nonstop. I thought that was a little odd because I just figured with a town of 1,200 people, they would notice those things and immediately go seek what is happening. So, anyways, I was really, really frustrated. So, again, I asked Georgette what I should do, and she said to call Heather and talk with her. So on October 26th, I called Heather, and at 11:28, I got a message that she was out of town, which I knew. We came here at the meeting, attended the town board meeting. You guys asked me to come back and speak with Heather. November the 2nd, I called Heather and left her a voicemail that I would try to reach her on my planning time at 1:30. I called Heather at the town of Mancos again, but her phone went straight to voicemail. I called Georgette about not being able to get a hold of Heather, and she asked for my number and that she would talk to her. November the 3rd, Georgette left a message on my phone saying that Heather had already spoken with me and that we agreed that we would pay an extra $100 to $200 a month until the bill was taken care of. I never spoke to Heather. I have yet to speak with her. I sent her an email about maybe possibly miscommunication, and I still have yet to receive any information from her. So I'm just coming to you guys asking for help on what we could possibly do to discuss possible solutions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sorry.
Okay. So moving right along, we have announcements. Heather, do you have any announcements?
I do have announcements. So the tree lighting is on December 2nd, and Jason and Jamie and Terry are working with the chamber and the VFW auxiliary on that project. There's a Board of Adjustments meeting on November 16th. The second water meeting with the Mountain Tribe happened today. I took Gretchen Wright with me from the Mancos Conservation District. They're still trying to figure out which stakeholders should be involved. We did talk about next steps. What the group is going to do is get together all of the municipalities in Montezuma County and the tribe, our current water rights and allocations, our current supply, and then potential future demand. Basically, we're doing a planning process. All of the stakeholders will provide that information to the contact at the Big Mountain Tribe, and then we will meet again in December once we've all submitted that information and the tribe has co-lived it. We'll meet again in December to decide who else needs to be at the table for this discussion. It's a big discussion. This is the project where we're trying to figure out how to get those 16,000 acre feet of water from Lake Mancos to Mountain Travel. The goal is to make sure that everybody is served by this project. Everybody needs water. So the tribe is very willing to hear and consider all of the information, which is why we're providing future demand information. Because if we need, say, an extra 1,000 acre feet of water or something, those discussions are gonna happen at the same time that we're planning this project. So just had our second meeting today, we'll continue to meet, and as soon as, every time we know we get an update. We just received notice that we did receive a grant in the amount of $8,500 from DOLA for the physical health checkup and the sales tax leakage study. So that's an administrative grant from DOLA. We're still waiting to execute contracts with them. So we won't actually start working with RPI or with Clifton Allen Larson until contracts with DOLA executed, but we did get the grant. So I'll be focusing on the physical health piece of that. Jason will be focusing on the sales tax piece of that, so we'll collaborate on that project. Just a reminder, the last meeting in November, you all canceled that when you passed the resolution to set your meetings for this year, so there will be no last meeting in November. We do have a meeting in December scheduled for, I believe it's December 28th. So on the December 14th agenda, I will place an item to say, hey, you guys want to cancel it, or do you want to hold it, what type of business do we have? But for right now, the next meeting in November is canceled. I will be doing a ton more travel again in December for the wastewater treatment plant. Currently, we're proceeding as planned. If that changes or as things proceed, I will be contacting you all to schedule a special meeting so that Berg Simpson can call in and give us some advice, and we can decide on next steps, and if possible, we need to authorize me to take whatever action is necessary. But just to let you know, I will be ramping back up again, so I'm going to be focusing there for a while. And then we received quite a few street light notices from citizens who have the street lights by their houses removed.
Yeah.
Terry and Justin are handling that. That's their department. So basically, I send those to Terry, and he's collaborating with Justin and the property owners. But you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. We're not taking streetlights out. There's safety. It's a safety issue. However, as Empire is replacing the streetlights as they were now, they're putting in LEDs which are much brighter. So Terry has asked them to dial them down to the lowest setting, and if necessary, come back out and install shelters.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what's happening with that. For some reason, there's just been quite a lot of citizens calling and saying, I don't like the streetlight by my house, I want them taken out. And we're not taking out any streetlights, just so you know.
Yeah.
But so Terry and Justin are working on that.
They are pretty bright.
See if you can get them to change the one at the power plant.
So, just wanted to let you guys know that's what's happening.
Great.
Do you have any?
Post offices.
Terry, do you have any announcement? Jamie, you got an announcement about Mancos United?
Oh, yes, this Sunday, Mancos United is hosting a meet and greet at the brewery. There will be a pool tournament and like vintage arcade games, Tetris, Pac-Man, stuff like that. And the whole family's welcome.
What time?
Yeah, what time?
Between 2 and 8.
And that's at the brewery. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything?
I do. Let's see. The Grange is doing a winter coat drive. So you can drop off coats the first Monday, of November. So that would be 3 Mondays in November from 3 to 5 at the Grange. And then they're gonna distribute them. So, and then they're telling people they can come and pick up coats on Monday, November 28th from 3 to 5. So, I think they were really wanting kids' coats. I think it's kind of more for the school kids. So, yeah.
I think they take any coats that they can get though, because there's a lot of people out there who need coats.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So again, that's the
So
the
the first 3 Mondays.
Mondays of November, and somebody will be there at the Grange from 3 to 5 to take the coats. And then you can come and pick, if you need a coat, come and pick them up on Monday, the November 28th from 3 to 5. Share the warmth.
Right, anybody else?
did want to ask if anybody had any questions on the town project list.
No, just thank you for including it.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It is
Gives us time to think about it.
a lot on there. You guys are busy. Okay, moving right along to committee reports. Region 9.
Well, I have a little bit, I think Jason was mentioned in the paper of joining, so, Region 9, so you're a celebrity now. I can just kind of report what's happened in October. A brief report is, they're really moving forward on their opioid, where they have all this opioid money, and then they gathered a team together, and so they've met with the Attorney General, and they also have like an inter-regional coordination. So this opioid is moving forward, the opioid team, and they're kind of focused on treatment or how they're going to use this money that they got. They mentioned quite a few times this Montezuma Roadmap team, and Jason, I don't really know what that is. If you know something, I think is it more economic development group?
It is. It's an economic resiliency planning process that the Montezuma County actually initiated a couple of years ago, and they're just kind of getting to the initial planning phases of that, and then now it's kind of going into implementation. But the economic development coordinator for Montezuma County is actually sort of head of that. I did that broad overview for you guys last month.
On that.
That is the last thing I talked to you guys about. That was the overview of that project.
Oh.
So you could revisit that. Gotcha. That's got a really good breakdown of like all of the pieces of it. It's a pretty busy project. Jessica Brown is sort of taking the lead on behalf of Montezuma County, and there'll be a lot more public information being released by Montezuma County and the team that's assigned to help this area.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying. They had quite a few inquiries into their enterprise zone. 31 of those inquiries came from Montezuma County. And they continue a lot of talk about broadband, so meetings and coordinating the broadband needs in the area. And I think what's worth noting is Laura Lewis Marchino, who is the chair of Region 9, she was voted chairman's choice from this Economic Development Council of Colorado, so she's really good. That's kind of all.
Okay,
Thank you.
CDOT.
They haven't had a current meeting tomorrow, the monthly meeting, so we'll have information for the December meeting.
Okay. Montezuma County Commissioner update. Gerald, you're on.
Actually, there's not much to report. We actually didn't have a meeting yesterday because of the election. We had a short workshop on Monday afternoon just for the 911 funds, and actually approved to increase your charge on your cell phone by 40-some cents a month. So just increased pay. We're redoing the phone system and stuff for the dispatch. And the last time the phone system was put in there was in 2008 when I was a commissioner before. And so it's been there for 15 years. So we're updating all that stuff right now in the process. They'd had some real issues. They tried to change some stuff here 2 or 3 years ago. Their recording system didn't match up like it was supposed to. They've been able to record about 5 calls at a time instead of 15. And so we're having to change a bunch of stuff around there. So it's going to take quite a bit of our 911 funds to do that. The commissioners meet as a separate board as far as the 911 funds go. And we've had several meetings the last couple weeks, and we're going to have another 1 or 2 from different requests from people as to what what we need for some of our emergency services around the county. So possibly upgrading some of our towers and put some new battery systems in up at some of the towers so that we don't end up with the tower going down and have an area where we don't have coverage within the county. So we're trying to get all that stuff upgraded some. Otherwise, our agenda's been pretty light and not much going on. So we've been getting through our budget process, and hopefully we're getting that all straightened out. We're probably looking at $500,000 to $1 million. We're going to have to pull out of reserves if we keep the budget the way it is right now. And we haven't reached that decision yet as to what we're going to do there, whether we're going to try to do that or if we're just going to start making cuts in it. And so we'll see how that goes here in the next week or two. But that's about all I got.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions of Gerald? Okay. All right. Next is the Montezuma County Planning Commission meeting. It is always the Thursday after our first meeting. There's only 2 cases on the thing. One is out by Summit Ridge, and one is down Weber past G Road. So they're not within our 2-mile radius, and they're small. There's a 3-acre subdivision out by Summit Lake and a 5-acre down Weber wanting to do a commercial something, I don't know, RV park or something down there. But anyway, that's what's on the agenda tomorrow night, and I will be attending that meeting. We'll know more. The treasurer's report, October bills and claims. Any questions? No questions? I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve the bills and claims as presented by staff.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson and a second by Trustee Betsy Harrison to approve the bills and claims as presented by staff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sound. Motion carries. Next is our discussion and action items. The first one is Resolution 17, Series 2022, the short-term rental business license fees. Heather.
I will actually turn this over to Jamie, and she shows Jason and Jason, because this is their project. So I will let them.
So Jason and I have, ever since the ordinance passed of the new short-term rentals, we've been doing a lot of research, talking to many municipalities, and I've discovered the amount of work involved to put in for the new ordinances. So we found a company that would help us do that, and in that process, we would like to increase the rates that we are going to charge the short-term rentals for their business license.
So what was the current rate?
$30. It's the same across the board for all our business licenses.
Well, I have a couple questions.
Wait a minute.
Say something first.
No. Okay.
I would like to excuse myself from this because I'm a short-term rental owner.
Okay.
So I would like to excuse myself.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna do the same for the next 2.
Well, no.
I do have lots of questions.
And I stayed at home, so I'm.
Well,
Wait a minute until we get out and shut the door. Okay. All right, go ahead.
all right. First of all, we said we would start with 15. Are all of those licenses already taken?
Yes, well, one is pending right now.
Okay, so we're pretty much topped out at 15. And I knew we said we could revisit that and change that number if we wanted to, but right now we're at 15, right?
Yes.
Okay, so are all these people, they really have a house and they really are using it as a short-term rental? I mean, I guess my question is, you can't just okay, I want the license, and so here, oh my God, it's $30, I'm gonna get this, and they're not using it. I mean, do we know that? Am I articulating this right?
Yes, well, that's actually part of this company would let us know that. So they go through 12 different websites to pull up, because they pulled out the 8132 area code
Right.
and found there was well over 100.
Yeah, I saw that in your report. Okay, so
If they're not listed.
we don't know for sure until we hire this company of how many people have paid for this license and aren't really setting up their little
Well, they'll just be able
business.
to tell us if they're listed on
Yeah,
the
that's it,
websites.
okay.
We also don't know how many people are doing the short-term rentals and don't have a license.
Right.
That's the,
And that's the bigger
big thing.
question
That's the
here.
bigger question.
Right, right. So I guess my main thing was doing the math is if we give out all 15 of those licenses and they're already gone, that's really close to what it's gonna cost for the software.
Yes.
So that's why you guys came up with the $750, right? Okay.
So
They do that.
my comment was, I sort of feel like we're going into another sewer issue. You know, I mean, a jump from $30 to $750 is a big jump. I mean, if people have been doing, if they're not new prospects but have been doing it for a while, it's a big jump. And I understand why we need to do it, but I also think that we should think about any kind of a way to educate people or explain it, you know, rather than just taking a big jump and just saying, okay, last year you paid us $30 and this year you pay us $750. I mean, because there's a logical explanation for, you know, what the trustees have done, the ordinance, you know, trying to, and the policing of the code. I mean, you know, there's a lot that goes into making sure that this is done properly. And so I just think we could figure out some sort of a way to educate people properly rather than just surprise them with a big bill.
Well, and this is Jason's expertise, so I'm gonna have him chime in a minute, but I just want you to know too that, we do not have to go with this price. This is completely up to you guys. It's just what we figured to cover the cost.
Mhm.
That's a good story. So I've already created a separate webpage for a site that's set back. That's kind of late this discussion. So there'll be opportunities for folks that are interested in learning about all of the things around short-term rentals to go to our town website and see that information. I think that, you know, Jamie did most of the work in terms of like soliciting the fees of surrounding similar sized communities. Everybody seems to be struggling with this, as you guys know, just right into view, but you know, I don't think these fees are out of line as in comparison to what other communities are charging. So that's a talking point, but I agree, it is a big jump. And we just thought this would be a good starting point. You guys have a conversation about what we think is an appropriate fee. We need to base it on something. So the software being the tool that we use, that's what we said.
Can I ask a question? Do we know how many of the short-term rentals are owned by individuals in the 81328 area? Or how many are owned by the big corporations? If they're owned by the big corporations, $750 is nothing, but we've got that in our ordinance that they can't no more after January 1st. It has to be somebody that lives in the 81328 area, and so that's going to make a difference. But that's been our biggest problem, is the big companies coming in and buying up our housing and turning them into short-term rentals when we didn't have any rentals or anything. So if we have 15 that are locally owned, and don't they also have to, they have to live in the 81328 area?
And this company does all of that for us. I can tell just from the free time I get to try to research this, I have found 2 current licensed ones that are not within the 81328, so we will not renew them. But there are a bunch more that are not licensed. And we've had to turn people away already that have tried to come in and get licensed that do not live in the 81328.
So,
Cindy, you got some ideas?
Well, I do. Just looking at it, it seems on the surface like, whoo, that's a big increase. But having rented short-term rentals, that's like 1 or 2 nights stay. And if they're renting something out, let's say conservatively 10 times a year, anybody that's doing this as a business can probably afford $750. And I like the fact that if it divides out between our permitted people and what it's going to cost us to use this company, I like that zero impact on the relatively zero impact on the town's budget. And I also think that the benefits information going out to people would be great, because really, if I'm a short-term rental owner and my permit goes up, or business license goes up to $750, I might be like, what's going on? And then you tell me, yeah, but that means we're enforcing all the people that aren't doing it right. And that makes your business worth more because they're out of business. So I think that if we address it with a really solid, like, this is what you're getting for that $750, and this is how it's actually going to help you make more money. So I'm not as worried about the big jump as long as we present it in a way that explains why, and as somebody that doesn't do short-term rentals, that makes me happy as a taxpayer, because then I'm not paying for the code enforcement to protect somebody else's business that I'm not profiting from. So I think it's a win-win for taxpayers that aren't doing this, and it's a win for the people that are doing it correctly.
Richard?
I agree with Cindy. I really do, because, these guys have been trying to figure out who the large corporations are, and it takes a lot of time out of their day. They're not doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
So, if this program can alleviate some of that stress, then it's worth it.
Anybody else have any more questions or comments?
I like this discussion. I think we're all kind of getting to where, where we need to be about these short-term rentals. And so I agree that it seems like a big jump, but all in all, it isn't going to be to who's ever running their business, that this is not a lot of money. And I think we do need some sort of software to police this, because it's not, we don't want to be paying staff to do this, and let's do it right. And, if we need to add more short-term rentals, then good, we'll add some more if we see how this plays out.
And I think this is a little different from the sewer, because that hit every individual. This is hitting businesses, people that are doing this as a business.
Mm-hmm. That are profiting from
for
it.
profit, and that makes a difference, instead of me having to adjust my budget for my water, for my sewer, just because, instead of this is my business, there are fees for business, and I'm bringing in money. So again, I don't think it's out of line. It's a huge jump, but I don't think it's out of line, and I think it definitely is going to be worth it for us to know who we have and who doesn't have a license, and what we can do about that, and hopefully it will then, some of the big corporations will go out, and maybe some of the other individuals who want to make some income can get a short-term rental license. And then, the first year is going to be high, but they'll make it up.
And we're coming up on a point where we need to send out notifications so that people know that business licenses of all kinds are going to renew. And that was going to be our opportunity to send those letters out to the current short-term license, short-term rental folks, and just kind of explain what you guys are talking about. So we'll have some talking points around that for that letter.
Yeah, good.
The other thing that we can do, and I don't know what the contract terms say, but for example, if we have to provide them 60 days notice, if it's a year contract, and we have to provide 60 days notice, then we can bring it to you 90 days ahead. and give you a status update.
Okay.
And say, do you want us to include this? Do you want us to continue moving forward? What do you guys want to do? And then let me know if, staff can let me know if it was helpful and if it's worth it. So we can't hire someone for $10,000 a year to do this. So, but we can, we'll make sure that we look at the contract terms, and 30 days before the time that we have to provide notice if we want to cancel, we'll bring it back to you all.
Okay. I also wanted to comment, just in their proposal and what services they offer. I really like the fact that, our staff can access the compliance data, because a lot of systems are proprietary and it takes an act of God to get a report that you want. And, so I really like that, we'll be able to, well, not me, but you, would be able to get in there and filter stuff out and get some answers, if we have questions about what's going on. So I really appreciate, how they seem to do business.
One of the other benefits, Jamie and I just came back from Casell last week, and GovOS integrates with both Casell and Express Bill Pay. So one of the things that we can do when we have time is we can work with, once this is in place and it's functioning properly, we can work with Express Bill Pay and Casell so that at least for short-term rental licenses, they can be reviewed online, they can be paid online, they can receive a business license automatically. Okay. So that was the other reason for GovOS, because it integrates government software, it integrates with our current government software. So moving forward, there's just an opportunity to streamline some processes and make it easier for businesses as well.
Nice.
Nice, that's really good.
Any other comments or questions? Then I would entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion. Let me get to that page. Let's see. Okay, so this is the motion. So, we're gonna make a motion, a resolution changing certain fees imposed by the Mancos Municipal Code, the town of Mancos. So it's Resolution 17, Series 2022.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Denise Bryant and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson to approve Resolution 17, Series 2022, a resolution changing certain fees imposed by the Mancos Municipal Code, Town of Mancos, Colorado. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor President Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Kogar.
Aye.
And motion carries.
They've run away.
And
They're long gone.
on the fee schedule, you list all the fees and stuff. You didn't put our new sewer fee. It's still the old sewer fee on there.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
That might be, I might have grabbed a little
Oh,
piece.
Do what?
I could have grabbed a little piece schedule.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, oh no, I'm really, we.
And I will update that before.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, they're back. You're back.
Okay, so
Got a water monitor out there.
you didn't bring some for everybody. Say hello.
Sorry.
Yeah, I guess we could have brought one
We
down.
were yapping away. We needed. There's
Okay, so next on the agenda is the art gallery permit for the Beehive.
I have to recuse myself again. It's my wife.
Thanks for stopping by, Nick.
Yeah, beauty of a small town.
Anybody else want any water?
Oh, I'll take, hey, Jason,
Nick, will you come back in and do us some water?
bring a water.
I already have one.
Betsy, you want some? Yeah. So three,
Hey, Betsy wants one too.
No, I got one.
We can find it out.
I didn't know it was there, and all of a sudden he pulls up, I want water, I could use one of these.
okay. So, is this Heather, is this you or is this Jamie again? Jamie, all right. Woo.
Look at you.
It's on the spot tonight.
So the Beehive applied for an art gallery permit. They would like to host a couple ladies' nights, showcase art, things like that. And this was easier than having to do a special event permit for every event. Plus they have art to sell, so they qualify for it. And the manager for the Beehive is here if you have any questions or anything specific.
So I do have a question of you. So if they get an art gallery permit, is that like a zoning permit or is that a special kind of business license?
Special liquor license.
Oh, okay.
And you're only, with an art gallery, you're only allowed up to 15. You cannot have more than that a year.
15
And you have
events.
to sell or offer art.
Okay.
Those were the-
Yeah, because you're not a bar that has pictures.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And on her
concept, the
application,
bar with a
she has
picture.
the
Yeah.
dates that they've listed. They're not even using the full 15.
Okay.
Right. You
Yeah, they
listed
call
the
it
dates
picture
on
list.
here, so.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I just was like, well. Okay.
I haven't seen that.
Any questions? Caroline is here to answer any of our questions that you might have.
This was new to me too. I've never done an art gallery permit before. So I've learned a lot this time.
Yeah.
And it says spa, so is there,
That as well, so we're a boutique, as well, and we also offer spa services.
okay.
So the biggest artist whose work we sell is Rosa Carter, who's a local artist, but we also have jewelry making in Durango, we also have different artisans actually from Puerto Rico, Mexico, whose products we sell as a part of the boutique, and then in addition, we offer spa services, massage, and facials. Try to be diverse, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So, okay, public hearing on this?
Public hearing.
Okay. So, I will open the public hearing at 7:42 p.m. I don't have anybody signed up to speak regarding the public hearing. So I will then close the public hearing and bring it back to the board, and I would, any other discussion? And I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve the art gallery permit for Beehive Boutique and Spa conditioned upon state approval and authorize the town clerk treasurer to send the application to the state.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Betsy Harrison and a second by trustee Ed Hallam to approve the art gallery permit for the Beehive Boutique and Spa, conditional upon a state approval, and authorize the town clerk treasurer to send the application to the state. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Hallam.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Cook.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Yay! You're gonna have some ladies' nights, you say again?
Oh, those are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll also have a holiday pop-up with Rosie Collins,
Oh, that'd be
which should
great.
be at the Beehive Park.
All right. All
Thank
right.
you all for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to Miss Cindy.
Everybody's watching the
They're fine.
They sleep. They take care of themselves.
They're in a drawer. They're fine.
That's right.
We could run the town almost.
Yeah. He's a busy boy.
Okay, next on the agenda is the Road 39 remediation phase 2. Heather, is this you, or are you gonna pass this off to Terry or?
No, I'll
Somebody.
take this one because it's a planning phase. So generally I head up planning and then for management after that. But
To get it done.
Road 39 Old Dog property, just as kind of a refresher, because I can't remember who was on the board when we started this project, I apologize. But we have the old dump property on Road 39 was decommissioned in the 80s. We did do some preliminary testing with the same company, with SEH out of Durango. They used to be Russell Engineering. Last year and earlier this year, we sunk some monitoring wells and did some stuff to make sure that we were not contaminating groundwater, and there weren't any soil gas issues over there. Because when these were decommissioned, there were different rules in place, and basically they just dug a hole and dumped stuff in it. So that report came back. It was well over 100 pages. I basically took a summary from that report that says we're not contaminating. Put that in your board packet. You're welcome to read that report if you wish, but bottom line is we're not contaminating. So the second step, now that we know that we're all good, the second step is what can we do with that property? So as part of the first contract with SEH, their engineer Julie and I had a conversation with CDPHE to say, what can we do with this? Everything came back good, we're great there. CDPHE was actually incredibly helpful. They said, well, that's awesome, but you're never going to be able to put a building on it unless you dig out all the waste that's there. It's just never going to be feasible, basically, for a town of our size, even with grant money. So what they said was you can do a parking lot, you can do a trailhead, or CDPHE actually recommended a dirt pump track over there, because apparently that's what other municipalities are doing with their old decommissioned landfills or pump tracks.
What is a pump track?
It's for kids, bikes, not kids, not just kids, but it's dirt bikes.
Like a BMX track.
A BMX, there you go. Because when I say dirt bikes, people think.
The motorized.
Oh,
It's
like when they paddle.
It's not motorized pedals.
Yeah, like down by the river in Durango.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
not necessarily trails, but when they say a pump track, it starts and comes back to itself.
It's because they have to pump their bikes to get up.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Those are basically the three things that CDPH would look favorably at. So now, the next phase, so now that first contract with SEH is done. So now, I asked SEH, well, send me what the second phase would be. And what the second phase would be design and permitting, not construction, for a pump track at that location. It's about $40,000. I've got their project in here, or their bid in here. I wanted to discuss this with you because we're right in the middle of our Parks and Trails master plan. And while all of the kids love the idea of a pump track, they still said when we were at the school, they would prefer that we concentrate on Boyle, the skate park, and the hospital athletic thing at the airport property down the road.
Yeah.
The other concern that I have is Pass to Mesa Verde is going that way.
Yeah.
But before that project happens, there is no way to get students safely on their bikes across the highway at that location.
That's fine.
There is very, very, very preliminary discussion about potentially at some point putting, when Pass to Mesa Verde is done, putting an underpass at that location, under 160, so that like the Trails Group and users of the Aqueduct property can get out there. So,
But question on that though, don't they have to have permission on both sides of the road, and the south side of the road is owned by private property?
it is, and like I said,
Both sides of the road are.
preliminary discussions, that's a plan. The town of Mancos isn't necessarily involved in that at this time. That would be years down the road.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm recommending that basically what we do is we shelve the project. I don't think we should cancel it, but I also don't know that I agree with spending $40,000 in 2023 to do design and all that other stuff when there's no way to get students safely across the highway to this track.
Then you gotta pay for the construction, so it was 40 plus another 100, you know, so
How much
if we're
are
gonna do it, we have
pickleball
to hugely commit.
Well, and I just think that, well, yes, it's in the Parks and Trails Master Plan. It just didn't come up to be the number one and number two priority, basically. I think if we're gonna spend money on Parks and Rec, it should be money at the skate park, money at Boyle Park. I think that we should.
Within the town balance to start with.
Yeah.
Or just keep to those priorities. If that contract was the overwhelming number one priority, fine, then we should figure out a way to make it happen. But while they like the thought of it, the students still liked Boyle Park, pickleball, sand volleyball, skate park. They still like those to be ranked higher. We're not taking it off the list.
Yeah.
So we can go in whatever direction we want. If after this discussion you want more information on the project, happy to bring it back. We can do anything we want. I'm just looking for a little bit of, do we put this money in the 2023 budget? Or do I shelve this and put it on our 5-year plan, because we have that 5-year capital plan? Do we put it in there kind of as a project, or, you know, whatever options you all come up with?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with you, Nick. Do you have any comments?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the scope, I mean, it's almost like the scope is the type of scope that's preliminary to actually implementation. And if the project is kind of a maybe and it's part of a bigger plan down the road, I don't see the value in spending that money now because some of the stuff's going to change by the time you get to actually doing implementation. And so, you know, like a preliminary estimate of construction cost, if we don't get to it in 5 years, that's going to be different. Concept design. So to me, the money's not well spent unless we were like on the edge of, yes, let's go for it. So I would say for me, it's not, doesn't make sense.
Denise?
Well, I think we can shelve this. Only because we're kind of in that Parks Master Plan. We haven't even really seen that. We haven't had any discussion around that yet. And it seems like there are more priorities in that plan than this right now. So I liked when Heather, you suggested the 5-year project. Maybe just put it on there for right now. We'll just table this for right now. But I don't think we need to do this right now.
Richard?
I agree. I think Boyle Park's the number one concern because it affects everybody in town one way or another. And that out there, I mean, if you wanted to build it, theoretically, parents could haul their kids out in a pickup with their bikes. But I just don't see them doing that. I think it would be, right now, it'd be a waste until that trail gets cut through there. And another thing, there is a crossing already there. It's a cattle crossing. It's a large 94-inch metal pipe, but you would have to get permission from both property owners and fence it off from the rest of the property to get access. Right. But I think.
That is quite a ways down from Road 39 too.
No, it's not very far.
Yeah,
It's a ways.
couple hundred feet.
Yeah, but they have to.
But if they're gonna go right around the track, it's not very far.
Right, yeah. No.
But they have to get from town out there to it on the highway, which is
But
dangerous.
that's what I said, without the trail, there's no point.
Right, I agree, but,
So I think we should shelve.
Betsy?
I think for several reasons that we should shelve it. I'm really worried about the highway crossing anyway, you know, and that's a huge undertaking. Plus, with the Parks and Rec plan, we don't even know what that's gonna do for the town once we've done
Yeah.
it. You know, and we might get some whole new idea in 2 or 3 years, you know, like everybody's using Boyle Park, except this is missing, you know, and then we say, aha, we can put it up there. So I just think for a lot of reasons, it's just better to shelve it for now.
Yeah.
And I don't care whether we put it on 2024 or put it in the 5-year thing. Just, I don't think we should forget about it because we own that land. And I think it'd be worthwhile to try and figure out some productive use of that property at some point.
Some point, yeah. Ed,
I think we should just hold off.
Cindy,
Yeah, I agree that we should shelve it. I don't think we should be creating attractive nuisances. And, you know, tempting kids to cross the highway, and putting themselves in further danger. And I'm just really relieved that we aren't actually gonna try to pump dirt. I was very confused by what that was.
They pumped like 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gotta pump their little legs to make their
There you
bicycles go.
Lake pump track.
All right.
well, and it is outside our city limits, so it would require our staff to be outside of the city limits for several periods of time to check on things that's going on out there. And so I think, again, it's a good thing to keep it on the back burner, but not move forward today with it.
Do we need to vote for that, or is that just consensus?
No, I was just kind of requesting board feedback to see if
Okay.
it should go in the budget, and if it doesn't go in the budget, then it goes nowhere. So it's good. And I will let Julie, as a matter of courtesy, I'll let Julie and SCH know we're not going to move forward with this year. You can process on this one. Right.
Yeah.
And those wells will stay in there. We sold some permanent wells. So the wells, the monitoring wells will stay in there for both groundwater and soil gas.
And how often are they tested?
And I don't know, I should ask Julie.
Is it a state requirement, or are we required to?
No, we actually did that ourselves to make sure that we weren't,
Yeah.
Good.
nothing swirly was happening out there.
But we are
So basically,
luckier.
just locked the doors and walked away, and we just make sure the count is in place.
Yeah.
That's all.
Great.
But we are luckier than the Plata County because the Plata County is having issues with their, over there. They are contaminating some water over there, so they're having some major issues. So, you know, maybe the longer we sit with ours, the less contaminated it'll be even. Who knows? Maybe in 20 years we'll be able to build out there. So the next on the agenda is the third quarter 2022 work plan and financial update.
This one, I give you guys some information, and I just want to know if anybody has any questions, any feedback, any input.
Heather, you put in here about that co-working space. Where are we at with that? I think, you know, one time we weren't gonna do it, but I saw it on here, so I just.
Well, we finished the project because we did that with the grant. So the project was finished. We did receive the deliverable. Financially, it doesn't make any sense for us to move forward for the town to move forward with a co-working space at that location. Anybody at a different location, it might be different. If a private entity wants to do it, because that's the other piece that came out of this was once we started the research, we did have several citizens come and say, well, I would love to do something like that. So we don't want to compete. I don't know what their plans are, I think they're involved with this, but it's not financially feasible. We would have gross revenue of about $3,000.
Yeah.
It's fully booked every single day, gross revenue of $3,000 a year. It doesn't make sense for the town, because that's gross.
Okay.
It's not net, it's not.
Okay. So the town.
I'm gonna jam my printer, my phone's not working, it's not a bad.
Yeah.
So it just didn't make financial sense for the town
Sure.
to move forward with the co-working space.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
Right underneath that on page 6, it says Road 39 remediation phase 1. And could we maybe call that, that we're not remediating the road, we're remediating our properties?
Yeah, I could
So,
agree when I first
because I was like, why are we messing with the county road? Like, that's weird.
Research and study. Yes.
We're a 39 town project.
Just to clarify, a little more clear.
Another question is, that Main Street business, those grants we gave out, I think that was improve the look and feel of downtown Mancos. So is that just a one and done kind of thing? So we don't get to do that again, like?
Plus, there's more money that we get the grant.
Colorado Creative Industries, right?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Not on Heather's watch, apparently.
It was a great project.
It was.
Shot in the arm for downtown.
Yeah.
And we absolutely have no regrets. It was so much work on the back end.
Oh, okay.
Because there were eight businesses involved.
Yeah.
The monthly reporting, the follow-up photo, there was so much work on the back end.
Oh, okay.
If the grant came open and one of the board members said, hey, we want you to do this, and the board said, do it, we would absolutely do it. I would never volunteer stuff for that project.
Okay.
It was just
A lot.
so time-consuming.
What was the grant called again?
It's called the Main Street Open for Business Project.
Okay.
That's how, for example, the Opera House did their awnings, and the Bower Bay building, we did windows, it was facade improvement.
Right,
Fahrenheit, their facade improvements. The Mancos Inn and Zuma did not only facade improvements, but solar.
Huge, yeah.
So it was a hugely beneficial project, but the back end management of that was more labor intensive, in my opinion, than a USDA grant, for example. It was huge.
Was that a DOLA grant?
It was a DOLA grant. It was through DOLA, they were the pass.
Okay, so let me just ask, if it come available again, could another organization take it on and the town just be the bypass and they do all the work on it and just be the pass through?
No, because that's how it happened last time.
Okay.
On this particular grant, because each grant program has different requirements. On this particular grant, the town, we were the pass-through basically, the businesses did the work and sent us invoices, and all we were supposed to do was provide checks and updates. But trying to wrangle 8 businesses to do all of the required monthly reporting, because they're busy too, it's not their fault at all. But it was just a lot more than our capacity, especially with the other grants and programs and projects that we have.
Well, it seems to me there's lots of like historic grants out there for, either rehabbing or, fixing up the inside and then stabilizing the outside.
Yeah.
So they can individually seek those, I think.
Well, there were things that we have to do, like what was the economic benefit?
Right.
It was just a lot of work, that has nothing to do with the businesses. They don't know the benefit to the town is, they know the benefit to their business.
Yeah.
So there was just quite a lot of back end. And like I said, I hate to say never, and I could possibly fold with it. Something happened. But yeah, that was a big, huge undertaking. And it was absolutely worth it.
Yes, Major.
I have another question. Conduct a leakage impact analysis. I don't know what that is.
You know what that is? That's the sales tax leakage study that DOLA just funded. The $8,500 grant for the physical checkup and the sales tax leakage study.
Yeah.
That's actually happening as soon as those grants.
They say you need to update your paper.
It's a sales tax leakage study.
But what's the leakage?
Oh, I see.
Oh, I see.
Money is leaking.
Right.
Because they can't get it here.
Okay.
Or for example, you live in Durango, so you shop in Durango and get gas in Durango rather than.
You live in Mancos, but buy this.
Or industries.
When you don't shop,
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well,
We don't
like,
have a Walmart, so people are shopping in Walmart, that's sales tax leakage, because Cortez is getting them sales tax loans.
and all the people that are buying from
Amazon.
Amazon.
No,
Amazon,
we get the
we get that.
We get the
But, but like when they buy from Kelly and she ships it, that sales tax goes to wherever she ships it. For Old Goodnight, when she had her gallery open and people would buy stuff from her, and she shipped it to New York or wherever, the money all went to there instead of here.
Okay.
So that's what that's for.
Gotcha.
Betsy, you had a question?
Yeah, I have a question. research possible stoplight at Willow and 160. And then if we also end up with a stoplight at Monty because of the new, are we really thinking about possible stoplights along 160 there?
No, that's why I have, are you in admin?
What page are you on?
Page 5.
No, I believe that,
3 up from the bottom.
yeah, that's why that says not started. What that's probably gonna end up saying by the end of the year is canceled. It was something that we had talked about because we wanted to light there.
Yeah.
But with the potential development now happening at Monty, because this was drafted.
Is there any
before that,
word on that?
Yes, still working with, the developer and the engineer and Safe Built, and then eventually David to, receive fully acceptable package.
What about
And they're working in
CDOT?
good faith with the town.
Does
They've
CDOT,
already applied to CDOT for their access permit.
and CDOT's already given them what expectations
They're
there are?
probably working on it.
They're working on it.
Because that's the one that scares me the most because of the increased impact on that corner.
And CDOT is aware, so,
That's
to that
like-
end, I'll probably not, I'm gonna take this off the list since Monty's potential, something's happening at Monty.
Right.
And then once that development is underway and CDOT has issued their final, you must do this here, then maybe we'll revisit if they want something somewhere else. But this was drafted before they were approached by the developer.
Right.
Yes. Hopefully that-
You guys got any questions?
I got another one.
All right.
Sorry. I know we've talked about it and we decided not to do the Boyle Park restroom retrofit. It says canceled for now. So I know at one time we were gonna do that, so we didn't have to pay all the money for the, I can't believe how expensive.
Toilet.
The porta potty. So wouldn't it be, I know we had discussion, you guys kind of thought maybe it wasn't a good idea to do the
Well, we
restroom
discussed,
retrofit?
yeah, retrofit or new bathroom, because that bathroom was not totally designed
Yeah.
to be.
To retrofit?
To be a winterized scenario.
Oh,
That's a big part of it.
And we're gonna roll that into the larger Boyle Park project, that's why it's canceled as a standalone. And when we start working on upgrades to Boyle Park, we'll roll that into that project.
Okay.
I do wanna say, we do budget 3,000 a year for the porta potty. However, in the last year, several of the businesses around the park have expanded their restrooms. Do we wanna cancel that porta potty? And citizens can use the businesses around the park, or do you wanna?
Well, and they can go home.
I think you should cancel, it's really expensive.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And then if they want, they can go to Cox and buy a pack of them. and use their restrooms. I don't know.
Yeah.
And we can keep it, Terry's,
See you, Gerald.
he's already
Gerald.
working on it.
Yeah.
But since you brought up the restrooms, I thought I'd take the opportunity to say, do you want us to cancel that porta potty now that those businesses have, they're open now?
So I will freely admit that I don't really go to Boyle Park that often, and if I have to use the restroom, I go home.
It's hard for those kids. though.
Yeah, it
It's more
is,
for the little
but,
guys.
It's more for the little ones.
right. So,
Little
just to preface what I'm gonna say is, so are our bathrooms open in the summer during daylight hours?
Yes.
Okay, so the porta potty is a winter thing. Okay. Let's just cancel it for this year and see what happens.
I need consensus on that.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm just kind of throwing that out
Board
there.
member can't tell you what to do?
No, I want to. I'm doing it in public. No, I mean, I'm thinking, let's cancel it and see what happens.
I think we ought to keep it.
it? I mean, I'm
You
not
said
gonna
we
heard
use
A lot.
meter.
A lot.
Oh, a lot of people use
A
it?
lot of people use it. That's
I
why
think
they
we ought to
put
keep
the
it.
cleaning on it, because it has to be cleaned.
And the cleaning thing was like $250 a month or, no, it was more than that. I mean,
There's a lot of people who use that park for exercise.
Yes.
yes.
The sidewalks are clean, it's fairly dry there.
Yeah, so what's your point? So it you think we should keep the porta
I think we should keep it for this year and revisit it in the summer of some sort so we can give everybody advance notice. I mean, we've had it for the past couple years out there.
I think we've had it for the past 3
3 years for sure. 3 years for sure.
So they're accustomed to it being there. So let's maybe do it this year and then next spring or fall, revisit it so we can get out flyers and say we're not gonna do it until we can get the bathrooms redone.
And I just asked Terry, they empty it once a week, and it's generally full.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so people do use it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's used.
It's used a lot. The park is used a lot more than you realize. It is really used. If you go by there, there's kids there. There's kids go there every night after school. I mean, every night after school. And
During the day, adults with their dogs, they walk around the park because it's not muddy, sidewalks are clear.
Kids,
Well, they should
parents,
have plastic bags.
We're getting more people playing pickleball out there, so they're used to it.
I
It's
like
All
just
right.
winter, they're not
So
gonna
I guess we're keeping the porta potty?
I would
Yeah.
think so.
I like the idea of keeping it. Partly, this notion of people going to businesses is wonderful, but those businesses may not want everybody coming to just use their bathroom.
True.
So I think
Yeah, just to come in and use.
I'm a huge
bathroom.
fan of public restrooms, just in general.
Never met a bathroom I didn't want.
Exactly. When you need one, it's there.
So keep it.
Yes.
Betsy, you can make any comment.
No, I think,
Keep it.
I think it's a great point in the wintertime, because I've used the sidewalk, because everything else is
You're not using the
mud and
restroom, you're
snow
using
and
the
ice and
sidewalk?
stuff, and the sidewalk, walking your dogs is clear, and,
That's what I have.
if people are using it, I mean, the fact that it's full when it gets empty
The
is
convenience
a sign
of
that
it.
people are using it.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think we
good
should
sign.
keep it.
Guess we're gonna keep,
Okay. So
Sorry, Terry.
But it's too much money.
It's too much money, and then how much it is to clean it every month? What would, that came out to be a crazy amount.
Yeah, that should
Well,
be just
we
part of
actually
it.
asked about having them clean it and empty it twice a week, and it was like $500 a month.
And there's
Sure.
nobody else
That's what I'm
that,
So we're just,
that
we'll
does
stay
it.
with our status quo.
Yes.
once a week.
Is there any other company that does it? Is there any other company that provides that service?
Next company would be Durango.
Is it LePew?
LePew and Cortez and Bob Jones and Cortez in Durango.
I'm sure their prices are gonna be pretty close to the same.
Might even be
We're
more
higher
over the hill.
to come over from Durango.
That's okay, we'll just leave everything status quo for this year and see what happens.
And revisit it next
And it's
summer.
very possible that by next year, fingers crossed, we'll have grants and we'll be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
planning and-
Right.
You know what I mean?
In construction mode.
Yeah, we don't even be talking about it.
Okay, any other questions on that? Okay, then moving right along is the, number 5, the year-end dinner discussion. And I'll take this on because we've done it, the board has done it for the staff to say thank you and to just get together and get to know the staff a little bit. We've gone to meet some of them. We've gone to Chavalos one year. We went to, we've had Pete cater it, and we had it at the,
That is Millwood.
we had it at the Millwood. Yes, we had it at the
Yeah,
Millwood.
let's have it.
We went to Chavalos and then we did it at the community center. I asked Jamie what days were open and we're pretty open for the month of December if everybody, she's.
Mondays and Wednesday evenings are classes, and then December 2nd, which is a Friday, and December 10th, which is a Saturday, community center is booked.
Well, I have a suggestion. How about the Opera House? You know, I know they charge a fee. I don't remember how much film they're charging, but you know, if we told them it was for the town, they might do it for half price. Yeah, and I thought it'd be fun to do it at the Opera House and have, cater some food, maybe get a band, maybe have some music.
Wow.
Wow.
I like
How
it.
much money does the town have?
What's their budget?
The board pays for it.
Oh, I think
You
we're
know
paying
the
for
Opera
it.
House is booked the first Saturday and second Saturday of December because I've done special event
Okay, so does it have to be on a weekend? Like, could we do it like December 15th, 16th, or 17th? I kind of know.
This is
17th,
absolutely your.
But you also have to remember that staff will have to go to work the next day.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little hungover. Well,
Little.
And driving equipment and state vehicles, or town vehicles, yeah.
well, I guess they don't get to drink. All right. Well, or we could talk to Brett and maybe have it at the Columbine.
I think that's hard. I don't know, having it, like when we had it at Millwood and we had it at Chavalos, in a public place, it doesn't seem as
Cozy.
cozy.
Special.
And I hate for Brent and those guys to have to close to have a special event, because then, you know, our evening, if we stay longer, they don't make as much money. I think it'd be better to have it at the community center and have it catered in. Maybe they could cater it, Pete get catered it, whatever, but I think, to me, it's more cozy and we can.
It's just us.
It's just us.
Right.
It's not other
Right.
people around us.
I like that idea too. That's why I thought maybe the Opera House too.
The Opera House is too big, and you got some people, because we do invite spouses. Some of them can't get up those stairs. Well, they got the elevator now. Never mind. I forget about the elevator because I've done those stairs too many times. But I know it's just huge up there. Otherwise, you know, I mean, for as few people as we have,
It would feel weird.
it would feel really, really big. But
I agree with Queenie, we should have it at the town community center. We should cater it, and we'll just make it the first Saturday in December if it's available. First available Saturday in December. Or Friday.
we can't do it on the 2nd because,
That's the tree.
and
And the,
the Badwater showing is
Yeah.
the 3rd, and that we all need to go to that if we can, because that's was pretty.
All depends how much the tickets cost.
They're $20.
$20 each, and as of
Are they having 2
3
showings
days
or just
ago, there were only 40 left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking,
Wow.
yeah.
So are they having 2 showings, Heather, or just one?
Yeah, just one.
Just one showing for Badwater?
One show, and the community center's about things that the community center's about on December 10th. So it have to be
What about the 9th?
December 12th. It's booked all day on the 10th.
Is that
Well, if you want us to do, we can do it overnight. If you want us to do it overnight, we can do it overnight.
No, you won't do it. This is not the staff of school,
Well,
except
that's
for
where
community
the question
center.
is, at the community center, we need to go set up. We need some tables and chairs and.
No,
We will do that.
we do that.
Yeah.
This is for the staff. This is, the board does this.
Okay.
The staff's
Are you
gonna have to
gonna
point
charge
us
us
in the
to-
right direction.
So I don't know, is it available on the 9th?
It is, Friday mornings, there's a dance class, but it's done by 9:30.
Oh, perfect.
So Friday, December 9th?
Sure. Now, Queenie, do we organize this? You said, like, it's the board.
We set up. table.
Well, previously, I did it.
Well, we
But I think we can all do it.
So like each one of, so we're gonna set up the tables, get the food, do all that. So we need to all communicate how each one of us have something to do. So you aren't doing.
Yeah, so what,
Coordinate.
so what we did.
How do we coordinate this?
How do we do
Hey,
that?
hey,
without-
everybody, can we?
Okay, yeah, wait a minute. So, Ed, you wanna explain how you remember we did it?
Well,
So
when we
everybody
did
knows.
Chavalos, I know that all the board members put in like $20 each to help pay for the drinks and that. I don't know, I'm trying to think of community center, because, that's one of those things, can we bring alcohol in the community center?
Yes.
And if we do,
Private party, yes. Private party.
private party, so, but, but what I'm saying is if we do it there, do we like bring a thing of, a box of beer, or do we, you can't bring a bar in there.
Right.
Right.
So what I did last year is you guys all gave me $25, and then I kind of talked to staff and asked them what they wanted, and so then I bought kind of what they wanted and had that there, and it was, self-serve. And we have money in the budget, so the board doesn't have to pay for the meal. We have money in the budget.
So we don't take it out.
Because we can't take the money for the alcohol out of the budget.
Right.
That's why the board
That's why
puts
we
in the
have
money
the
for the
drinks.
alcohol. But we have money in the budget to pay for the dinner, and last year I just asked everybody what they kind of wanted, and they said they'd like to go to Pete's. We did steaks, baked potatoes, a green salad, and he catered it and brought it in. So, and then we did a ugly sweater. It wasn't last year, it was year before last.
Well,
3 years ago.
pre-COVID. It
It
was
was pre-COVID.
pre-COVID. It's been
Yeah,
before.
we did an ugly sweater contest, and we did
White elephant.
a white elephant gift, and and then I brought a bingo game in. It was a Christmas bingo game. We played bingo, and I'd gone to the dollar store and bought a bunch of cheap gifts. And I tell you, people were fighting over those cheap gifts for the bingo, and they didn't want to go home. They just stayed and played bingo, and it was fun just to laugh and hear the laughs,
So do we set up the mail too, or is that something staff?
What do you mean the mayor?
No,
The
staff
mail-
does nothing.
The
Staff
mail.
does nothing. We talked about what we wanted to do, and then we would assign somebody to.
Because I was gonna tell you, I went to a catered meal that he catered this summer, and he did prime rib.
Mhm.
Excellent. Prime rib with baked potato, sour cream.
Yeah, Terry's all for that one. Now you speak up.
And then if somebody wanted chicken, they did chicken.
Mhm.
You know, they had
Right.
chicken, prime rib, baked potato, salad, what else did they have? They had some other stuff,
Yeah,
dessert.
vegetables, something, and then dessert.
So do we get a head count, how many are
Yeah.
coming?
Well, yeah, we need a head count.
Yeah, that food sounds good. I was gonna say, if not, you could always ask Green Table for their lovely lasagnas that they've made for us before. Those are really good. And there's
Or the bakery.
Prime rib for Christmas though.
Yeah.
I love prime
I
rib.
kind of like that
Yeah.
idea.
The prime rib was excellent. It was for the fire department. And
All right, so right now, consensus, Pete with prime rib?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, all right.
prime rib or chicken.
Prime rib Pete.
What time would you like it on December 9th?
what time does staff get?
Well, staff gets off work at 5. If we're doing it on December 9th, I'm gonna cut off this early.
Yeah, as I say, we let them go early.
If you
Right.
don't wanna go home and relax, you
So-
potentially shower, there's breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is
Yeah.
6 o'clock?
Earlier is better.
So like
Better.
open bar visiting time, 5:30 to 6:30, and then meal at 6:30?
Richard, you're a party animal.
He is.
He's an organizer.
Let's turn the whole thing over to Richard.
Yeah. Tell us what-
And then you can just tell us what we have to do.
Okay,
Yeah,
so 5:30 to
Richard,
6:30, happy hour, and meal at 6:30.
Yes.
Meet and greet from 5:30 to 6:30. Don't say happy hour.
The mingle, yeah.
That implies alcohol.
Okay.
I just never knew you were such a party animal.
You are
So,
such a party
Let
animal.
me ask you, would you ask Pete, and then let me know?
I can ask Pete, I just need a number. What kind of number?
I was actually gonna say, do you want to schedule a special workshop where you all to work out all these details and do your thing, and I'll just post it on the board, and you guys can meet right back here and do whatever it is you
We
do?
do the
So
logistics.
staff's gonna have to do something for me if I'm gonna go Pete.
No, no.
I'm gonna need numbers and what they want to eat, chicken or prime rib. All right? And Terry, also what your wife wants.
Chicken.
So can staff send an email to everybody
I
and
will take care of it.
get a number for me, and then you guys,
I can help set up.
I can do whatever.
I mean, you guys can write
Decorate.
down if your Ed's bringing a guest and Nick's bringing a guest
I'm bringing a guest.
and Cindy's bringing a guest and Betsy, you better bring a guest, because I'm bringing one. But then let me know what you guys want so I can go to Pete with numbers.
Richard, I will coordinate the head count for the trustees and the staff,
Okay,
and I will find out if they want chicken or fried bread.
right.
So I will take care of that via email in the next couple of
Eh,
days.
Green salad, baked potato, and maybe some little dessert, I don't know. I mean, my wife may be making toffee at that time, I got 75 pounds of almonds sitting in my house, so,
She likes to make a lot of coffee, huh?
well, we sell.
Oh, okay.
On a good weekend, she'll make 60 pounds or 70 pounds.
Wow.
So that's why my figure's the way it is. I
You
gotta
gotta
sample.
test it.
Okay,
I gotta
so
say.
are you guys opposed to giving me $25 each and I can do,
Sounds great.
the-
You're gonna do the liquor?
And I'll do the liquor and have it there, and if you guys have a preference, if you would also, when you're talking to them about what if there's a preference on the beer, because I don't want to get Coors Light and nobody wants to drink Coors Light, if they want, ask, what kind of, beer they want, wine,
I got some first.
Jamie wants red wine.
I got a preference. Tequila and lots of limes. Or lemons.
Straight. You do know how to party.
I got a lot of wine in my house, so I
don't
can
need
put
tequila.
some slack on
There's a
that.
lot of whining in my
I'll donate the wine, so we don't have to spend a lot of money on that, so.
But, once we get numbers, then I can go to the,
Right, and then just ask what they like to drink, whether it's a white wine, a dry or a sweet, or
red.
and then if they want, what kind of beer, because I know the guys, some of them like Coors Light, some of them like Budweiser, and I don't wanna buy all the beer, I don't wanna buy the wrong stuff.
Modelo or.
Yeah, Modelo, some of them want non-alcoholic, and if they do, I just need to know, so that's what I get.
Lemon.
And I think we should have like iced tea and,
Yeah, I do,
non-alcoholic.
I always
Yeah,
have some of
that's
that.
good.
Pete can do that. He's got the containers already for
I
you.
got
Okay.
got
Long as he's got the containers.
So it's December
I've
9th,
got the
5:30 to 6:30, meet and greet and dinner desk.
So we'll need to meet at like 4
Yeah.
to set up and decorate. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
And we can come get the key.
You wanna try to do it that day, or you want, well,
Yeah,
Yeah, because somebody's in there that morning.
But
So-
don't you
so-
wanna go
So
and
get,
set up and stuff and then go home and?
Change.
Yeah.
I think we should set up like noon.
Right,
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we,
So meet there at noon.
I
You're out. Are they out by
Yeah,
now?
Well, we
Yeah,
understand,
we understand that, you can.
we understand, we understand some people work on Friday.
And like noon, I can sit down there and.
Yeah, I can sneak
help
away.
set
I
up.
mean, we're not gonna.
This is, now you're really getting a picture of how the trustees work together.
And I'm like, it's
How come?
only one day, I still love this discussion.
I know.
I know, but
Yeah.
again, this is something, we do need you to just do the head count for us.
Be there and
Because
there.
this is for you guys, and Georgette, I want you to remember, this is not you working. Okay, this is from us to you guys. I had to, because she's always wanting to, oh, you guys can't do that.
So this, you guys are really gonna be able to clean up and break down everything before you leave on the night?
Well,
Yeah, we can.
we may
We
ask
can't do
for,
it Saturday morning? No, because somebody's got it.
Nope.
Oh, in the morning?
Saturday morning.
that's why I decided we'd do it early, and we won't put up a lot of decorations.
We just gotta
Yes.
keep people out of
Because
it.
they'll already have,
About the time of the meal, do you wanna start at like 4?
No.
no, because some of us have to
'cause-
work.
Yeah, we gotta,
Well,
Like Ed has to work, this is Friday, Ed has to work.
yeah.
So it doesn't take that long to tear down and
I don't
clean
think
up.
it does either.
And if everybody steps in and helps.
You don't take me long to eat, I'll start taking tables out soon as I see people get up.
Yeah, start kicking people out.
Well, if we just have a, 8 p.m., everybody out kind of thing,
So we're gonna do
last
white
call.
elephant,
We could,
still white elephant, $20 limit?
$20 limit on white elephant.
Definitely.
So I need somebody
Definitely.
to send me the details so that I can pass them along. to
Yeah,
staff.
it sounds like Queenie's taking notes, so.
And we wanna do the, ugly sweater?
I won't wear one because
How come?
I hate sweaters.
I think it's nice to wear
Well,
something that.
Wes actually,
Or
had-
ugly Christmas t-shirt.
Wes had
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sheet on.
It's like formal.
I can get behind festive, yeah.
Just dress up, or, the ugly sweater was fun.
I had to go buy an ugly sweater for the last one we had.
So we'll have it this year.
So I'd love to be able to wear it
We'll have
again.
it again.
I love it.
Ugly sweater.
I'm going to thrift store.
Okay, guess we're doing ugly sweater.
I bought mine online and didn't win.
Yeah, I wonder, does Wes still have his suit?
So, I would like to kind of make a request that it not be like all Christmas. Because not everybody celebrates Christmas, not everybody's, religious.
Right.
So,
Just ugly sweater.
ugly sweater.
Ugly sweater.
Yeah, just ugly
Yeah, just
sweater,
ugly
might
sweater,
be
that's
Christmas,
I
might
agree with
be.
That's why
that.
he's doing his ugly sweater.
And it doesn't even have to be a Christmas sweater.
No, just
It
ugly
could just be an
sweater.
ugly sweater.
I'll buy some poinsettias, maybe for the table.
Yes. I love it.
That'd be cool.
Decorations.
I did a Christmas the cactuses that were
And-
around. I did the small ones.
Heather,
Do we have money in the budget?
Do we have
Yeah,
more
what's our-
agenda?
I don't know, do we have more on the agenda?
Well,
Yeah, you gotta
Okay,
put the
so let's
date
move.
Okay,
We got an
Okay, let's
Okay.
move forward.
all right.
one more request, that the marshal's office not working that night.
Somebody has to work.
I know.
Well, somebody-
Because we're all going home.
Or I can send out a
Yeah, I
note
can
to town
walk.
that says, nobody can break the law.
Can we just do martial law and just shut it down for?
Yeah, we'll send them around and lock everybody in their house Friday night.
There you go.
You know, I'm gonna start.
Don't you have a-
Friday afternoon, just-
Don't you have a
Little
button in your
duct tape.
office?
Because they won't be able,
Let me see what I
as
can,
long as they'll be able to eat.
let
Yeah.
Justin see what he can do.
Yeah, as long as they'll be able to
We'll do our
eat,
best.
I understand that they still have to perform their duties.
Well, can't
They
Queenie,
come and bring
Queenie
their-
can just deputize somebody random, right?
Well, and
Yeah.
Didn't we decide that?
if somebody does have to work, then we'll just make sure we make a plate with everything they want on it and more.
Well, they could come in and eat and,
Right.
But
Still be
again,
on
like
call.
Justin said, if the sheriff's office would cover one night for us or something.
I can ask.
We have
You
to
can
ask, so we'll do what
Okay.
we can to accommodate that request.
Okay,
If I had it in,
I will do
I would see it for sure.
that. Just leave it alone.
and Heather, if I need to sign that, since it is coming from the board, not from staff, I can do that for you.
I think it's okay for that, I think it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just,
I
so
can
just,
One clarification, so the money, we have money for the meal
Yes.
only?
Yes.
It's just money for food, and
We don't
everything
pay
else?
for alcohol.
no,
No, yeah, but I'm talking about like some sort of table, centerpieces, that kind of thing, that's on us? Okay,
so you and I'll talk about that.
okay,
Yeah, I can help with that.
okay,
I like poinsettias.
I do too.
You and I can talk about that.
And then it's a door prize, take them.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Huh? Oh, here.
Okay, so, going on to K, our items for the December 14th, 2022 agenda, because we're not meeting the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We got the agency contribution discussion at our workshop. Resolution to be announced, the mill levy and budget adoption. We've got the budget amendment, we got the setting the 2023 Board of Trustee meetings, the dog licensing fees, the monthly utility rates,
That one I
setting,
think we're gonna push. We're
Okay.
gonna push that one here too.
Okay.
I think.
setting the utility tap fees, setting dedicated land fee and lieu, and then talking about December 28th meeting cancellation, and
Protocol's done.
we don't need to do the protocol update, so we take that off. Okay?
I have one thing. Can we get more information? I think you sent out an email with this, citizen had to say about the water tap thing.
Yes, I will.
I think
absolutely-
you did send us an email about that,
Yes.
didn't you? So, I'm so confused then.
Was there a
Like, she's saying that,
So what I'll do is, let me review the information, and I will respond to her.
okay,
I do not recall receiving an email from her. I also do know that staff did contact her. So let me do some research. We have all of that information documented. I will try to find her email address somehow and send that to her, and then what I will do is I will copy you on my response to her.
okay.
Yeah.
If at that
Okay.
time somebody feels they want it on a future agenda, then just reply to me directly.
So Heather, while we're on that discussion, is there any way that we can alleviate some of that fee by not charging her the overage? I mean, I understand she knew she had a leak and it's her fault for not getting it fixed. But a $4,000,
That's your decision, that's not.
a $4,000 water bill during Christmas is devastating for the kids that they have. I know them, I live next door to them, all right? So I shouldn't even be a part of this conversation?
Well, my official response to that is the town did, and I'm not quite clear, that's why I said I needed to kind of confirm, because we don't read meters in the middle of the month, we read meters at the end of the month. So I'm not sure on some of the dates, and like.
Yeah, she said the 14th it was red, that's for me.
Something or other to cancel a check, so some of it, I don't know, I have to research it, I don't know what she was talking about. What I will say is that our equipment is functioning correctly, and we have been out there to ensure that our equipment is functioning correctly. And they were advised that they haven't, I think a couple of months ago. So.
Where did the water go? I mean, it just never appeared.
Went down the rocks. It wasn't even muddy there when they dug it out, because I walked by and it wasn't even muddy.
So
It's a lot of water.
let me do some research.
Yeah.
But also, in the town's defense, if I know I got a water leak, the first person I'm calling is Terry to come shut my water.
Exactly.
All right, whether
Do
I can function as a household or not, that's where I need to make the decision, shut the water off.
Sure.
And go get a hotel room or whatever until I can find somebody to fix the water.
Well, and again, I think what's been happening, I don't want to put staff on the spot. We
Yeah.
haven't talked about this today.
Yeah.
If staff wants to respond right now, you can, otherwise we can wait and.
Yeah, you can just put it all together.
Yeah, just put it all together.
Yeah.
Because I found that email you did send out that, yeah, I just reread it, so.
And I was under the impression that they agreed to the payment plan that we talked about prior to the last meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So after the last meeting, she did call me, and so, I said, well, we have them on the payment plan, we're waiting late, because that's what we're willing to do. Because it wasn't, town equipment that was malfunctioning.
Right.
So that was the last that I heard of it until tonight.
Yeah.
So let me do a little bit more research, and I will also reach out to her. Like I said, I don't remember receiving an email, but I will look.
Well, and I have a question too, and maybe just include this in the report. There were a lot of dates and times rattled off of when they went to voicemail. I would like to know if any messages were left, because frankly, if I call someplace and I don't leave a message, that's on me. Because how does that person know that I called? How do they know what I need if I don't leave a message?
I will have to find her phone number and then go back with 3 COs. So let me to get a call history. I don't know how far back my desktop holds. I may have to call them first. And ask them to get on the server.
Okay.
So,
And did she leave any messages?
That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what we're trying to find out.
Because I can call someplace 10, 15 times, but if I'm not willing to leave a message, that's
true.
My fault.
So let me do a little bit more research on it. And see what's.
And if it's hundreds of dollars and hours, don't bother. But just if it's relatively easy.
But to Richard's question, I do not have the authority. If it's not town equipment and town problems and town's fault, I don't have the authority to waive utility bills for citizens. Only you can do that.
Okay, we, the board, can do that?
The board, you know, I don't know how, you know, I mean, we haven't had any for a while. I know that historically the board has looked at doing it in several ways. One was to charge them for the cost of the water. So you're not charging that slippery slope, because that's where all that dollar comes from. You know, you charge them that base rate all the way across, or, you know, at one time, when we had one of these back years ago, the town at that time said, we'll pay, you know, it cost us 60 cents a thousand to do. They used 500,000, we charged them 60 cents because that's what it costs to produce it, as kind of a buffer, because it still costs the town. The town can't give them that.
Right.
You know, but
like,
if
I don't
it's a token, you don't want to gouge them. So yeah, we as a citizen shouldn't pay for someone's water leak. They need to pay for it regardless. But how we set up, how that's structured now, I can't answer, because fortunately, we haven't had one.
Yeah.
for a long, you know.
Sure.
Well, and, you know, I don't want us to get into setting a precedent where it's like, oh yeah, no problem, you know?
No.
Like, because then nobody's gonna fix
No,
it.
they still
I
got
don't
paid.
think it's fixed today. I think what they're doing now is they're going out into our pit and they're turning the water off when they're not using it.
No, it's repaired.
And they're turning it on.
That's good.
It is repaired.
It's repaired. There was a backhoe in there a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, right, Terry?
Is that right?
So it is
So it
repaired.
is fixed now. Okay.
Right, and it was right on their side of the meter.
Yeah.
It was fairly close to the meter.
That's just crazy, never surfaced, but I mean, I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen.
It can happen to any one of us.
Yeah.
So we need to look at this.
Let me do some research, because I do know that when we did, when we were first notified, we did go out and check and let them know the leak was,
Their property.
so I'll get the dates and,
What we did,
I'm sorry?
they knew about the leak before we did.
Hmm.
When I went out to check the meter, it was totally shut off.
Oh,
So they'd already gotten it to turn it off.
Mhm.
so they knew, yeah.
So-
Yeah, because I mean, frankly, as soon as I saw a $1,500 bill, I would have been like, holy crap.
Well, so you'll send us information and then we can revisit this conversation if
Yeah.
we need to. Okay.
What I'll do is I will find her email address or we'll reach out to her, get an email address.
Mhm.
But first, I'm gonna go back through all of our internal notes with
Yes.
the dates and the times and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And then go back to, so I don't wanna say nobody called her. I did not call her, because Terry goes out and deals with the water, and I don't want people jumping the chain.
Right.
He's had his opportunity.
Yeah.
And I did, however, go tell Georgette, call her and do this, and you know what I'm saying? So she did get a response, maybe not the one that she wanted, but she did get a response.
Yeah.
So I will, I'll do some research.
Yeah.
And I'll send her an email if I can find her email address. And then I will make sure that you all get a copy of it. After you see that, if you want this to be revisited, just hit reply to me.
Mhm.
And if I hear from somebody, I'll put it on the next agenda for discussion.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Okay, so the next on the agenda is to, an executive session. So, wait a minute, before we do that, I need to make a motion. Wait a minute.
Bye, staff.
Which one?
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, guys. Have a
We're
good
gonna have a
evening.
party.
Hey, clean the snow off my car on your way out.
Yeah.
All right. So I move that we go into executive session for discussion of a personnel matter under CRS section 24-6-402, parens 4F, and not involving any specific employees who have requested discussion of the matter in an open session, any member of this body or any elected official, the appointment of any person to fill an office of this body or of an elected official, or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personal to particular employees.
Make a motion, I'll second it.
Okay, we've got a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson and a second by Trustee Ed Helland to go into executive session for the discussion of personnel matter under CRS section 24-6-402, parentheses 4, parentheses F, and not involving any specific employees who have requested discussion of the matter in open session, any member of this body or any elected official, the appointment of any person to fill an office of this body or of an elected official, or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personal to particular employees. We don't have to have a vote on that. Okay.
What, Heather?
I think we need to call the roll.
Okay, we do need to call the roll. Okay. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Queenie Barr,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson,
Here.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Here.
Trustee Denise Bryan.
Here.
Trustee Ed Hello.
Yep.
Trustee Richard Topar.
Yes.
Trustee Nick Canaan.
Yes.
Okay. So, does, David? Do we record it or no?
Don't you have to read, is there one more you have to read, or am I mistaken?
Turn off the public, turn on the executive session.